welcome back to the Constitutionals Podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Welcome back in. It is officially the end of the workday for me. I was just waiting. Today was yesterday was hectic. We at work, we ended the television upfronts were over. And then there was like an all hands meeting today. I was at the dog park. I come back home and I see a message in the Slack, in the combined Slack for all the editors and producers and stuff. And I see, hey, there's an all hands meeting today at 11 o'clock, and it's like 11:15. I'm like, oh shit! So I hop on, or I guess he posted at 10:30. But anyway, I guess it started 11. But anyway, I watched half of it, I guess, approximately. They were talking about what's going on with the New York offices and things like that. Anyway, the upfronts went well. You'll never know who I work for. On LinkedIn Logs, I don't talk about. LinkedIn Logs is the jobs and business news podcast that I also host for this stupid website. But I never mention who I work for. And they dropped some pretty big news. The upfronts are we're going to talk about Warner Brothers upfronts in this episode, but just upfronts are essentially networks and studios going, hey, this is what we have to offer to advertisers. This is what's coming out. We have more for Warner Bros. I'm just going to make up something because I know they don't have this, but we have more Game of Thrones. We have some TLC shows that people are looking forward to, some Food Network shows. Please advertise with us. Okay, so that happened. And then yesterday, I will admit this, I did go to the pool at 4:30 because yesterday was a very trying day for me. I'm sitting in a meeting, and there's somebody in the meeting who is sending emails that I have to work off of. So he's not sitting directly to me, but and they are sending them every minute for, I don't know. I did roughly let's pretend 15 or 20. It was so I had 15 or 20 things to do yesterday, and I was just pissed because there are moments where there's 3 or 4 hours where there's nothing for me to do. Not nothing, but I would like things to be spaced out. Not nothing if the bosses are listening, which they aren't. No one knows I do this. If they only knew that I talked to cool celebrities like Craig Robinson and Tiffany Haddish once. Oh my gosh. What else is going on? I have a wedding next week, so I'm going to have to be recording late night lately. I have to leave on Friday, so I have to record. It's a destination wedding. I have to record late night lately very early. I have to basically go to the gym, come back home, knock out late night lately at 8 o'clock in the morning. It's gonna be crazy. But I'm setting up my hotel reservation. I felt good. I got a decent rate. Not really. But I paid for it. And then I realized I did it for the wrong weekend. So I had to call. I went through Expedia. I had to call them. Obviously, there's a call center on the other side of the world. And I'm like, fuck. So then I called the hotel. And they're like, you have to call Expedia. The guy was so mean. You have to call Expedia. It's on them. You paid them. I'm like, okay, buddy. So I'm just waiting to hear back because apparently Expedia is like, it's non-refundable. They're like, well, I can just cancel it because I did pay through PayPal, and I could just mark I could just mark it as fraudulent. I'm willing to do that. What else is going on? I think I spoke. Today's Thursday. No, I guess I didn't talk about this. I think I talked about it in the other podcast. It doesn't matter. Last Saturday, I spent categorizing all of as I point all the time, if you're watching the video, there's the rower, the Concept 2 rower, and then right behind it is a bookshelf that has every single DVD and Blu-ray and television show that I physically own. A lot of those DVDs I've had since like the year 2000, the year 2001. They're so old. A lot of them are very, very old. But I categorize all the cool Saturday night. I spent categorizing all of my my movies, both the digital and the physical. Right now, I did buy 4 more movies today. If you care to know, Kung Fu Panda, Despicable Me 4, Minions: Rise of Gru, and what was the 4th movie I bought? I don't know. It was probably something stupid. But yes, I did just buy all of those movies today. I think I just bought 3. Let's see. I'm going to Movies Anywhere. Let's see. Kung Fu Panda 4. Oh, and Kung Fu Panda 3. That's right. So I got 2 Kung Fu Panda movies. Anyway, so I categorized everything into a Notion database. And if you don't think that took me way too long to figure out, Notion is good. Notion is a note-taking app that is free, but you can pay for AI features. But anyway, it's a very powerful and free tool that you can use to make notes or charts or whatever. And I made an Excel-style table that features movies, TV shows, physical media, and then I broke it down into like franchises and stuff like that. And what I was able to do is on Fandango at Home, formerly known as Vudu, you can export a list of all the TV shows and movies that you own. So that was good. And then what the hell is that? And then for Apple TV stuff, I just I opened up the Apple TV app on the Mac here, and I did a Control-Alt, a Control-C, Command-Alt, Command-C. See, I'm still thinking. I've had this computer for 6 years, and I'm still thinking, or 5 years, and I'm still thinking in terms of Windows. So I did Command-Alt, Command-C, and then I went over to just like a blank document, and I Command-V. I got rid of the duplicates, and then I made sections for. Can I just show this? Hold on. Notion. I can't. I'm not sharing my. That's the C+ comedy Notion. Oh, look at this. Can't even log in. Okay, or I don't want to log in. Excuse me. I'm looking at the app. But anyway, I made a quality section, a Movies Anywhere section. If it's on Movies Anywhere, a Where to Watch. That includes Movies Anywhere, Fandango, YouTube, physical, all that stuff. And then the total at the end of the day is, I bought 4 more movies today, digitally, 655. Now I'm guessing that a lot of these are duplicates on in terms of streaming, and I don't know how to not have it say like a duplicate for streaming, but it's fine. Physically, I own 164 DVDs, and then Blu-rays 134, and then for streaming it says 465. But remember, those are duplicates. A lot of them are. Well, not a lot. Many of them are duplicates, and it's great. And you know what? It's paid off already. Because there have been multiple times where I go to purchase. I'm going to say, like, this happened very specifically with Transformers, I think 2 or 3, and I went, do I have? I think it's Age of Extinction. I was like, do I have this? And then I bought it, and I went, I have it. Waste of money. It paid off as recently as about 2 hours ago. I was sitting on the couch watching golf, watching the PGA Championship. And things are going pretty well. I watched Scotty sink a putt, and he was in 17th place, and he jumped up to 7. It was insane, and it was a great hit, great little tap. Meanwhile, those live golfers are still sucking ass. I hate the live golfers. Anyway, it worked out today. I was on the couch, and I saw some movies that were on sale, and I saw Rampage and San Andreas, both starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I do like those movies. Rampage is a video game movie, and it's so different from the video game. But you know what? I think it works. San Andreas, I just love a disaster movie. So I saw San Andreas, and I went, do I own that? Do I own Rampage? Went to the list, typed in Rampage, don't own Rampage, typed in San Andreas, I do own it. I went, okay, I guess I don't have to spend this $5. It really works. It's fascinating to see. Like I forgot I had Anthony Bourdain's Parts Unknown. I bought that on Apple TV years ago because I think it was on sale for like a stupidly low price, like $5 or $10 or something like that. It's like 60 episodes. I went, all right, I'll buy it. I do like Anthony Bourdain. I have so many versions of Avatar. I have a Blu-ray. I have Avatar Collector's Edition. It is a Blu-ray disc set that has the extended version of Avatar 1. And for the longest time, I could not find that. And then I found it new, sealed. And then I bought it. And then I think within a week, they re-released it. And I was like, well, and they re-released it on 4K. And I went, that's on me. But I wanted that version. There's also a guy I found on Facebook Marketplace who was selling seasons 1 through 17. Excuse me, 1 through 18. No, it's 1 through 17 because I have to buy 2 more. 1 through 17 of The Simpsons on DVD, plus 20, plus the movie. I already own 3 of those seasons and 2 versions of the movie, DVD and Blu-ray. And I'm just, I would like, I sent him a message there because it's been up for weeks and I've been like, okay, I'll buy it on this date. And he's out of town. We settled on a price. He wanted $250 originally, and then he sent it down to $225 without me saying anything. And then I sent him the message and I was like, I offered him a much lower price. And then he's like, how about this? And I went, good. But he's not at home. He's out of town, and he won't come back until next week. At which point, I'll be going out of town. So we're trying to figure out how to get this settled. But I told him, I was like, hey, man, I don't know. You're not supposed to show your hand, but I was like, dude, this is my favorite show. I already have a lot of these seasons. I already have the movie. I do want to buy everything. He even has season 3 that has the Michael Jackson episode that you can't find on streaming. You can't even buy season 3 in complete form because they took that episode out. Okay, let's get to the stories. I have to get back to C+ comedies and the constitutionals. Okay. This comes from Variety, and it's written by Todd Spangler. Byron Allen on how he plans to use BuzzFeed to create a, quote, premier global free streaming service, what it means to be taking over Colbert's CBS time slot, and why he wants to buy Starz. So if you see the show notes, I do have 2 versions of this story, more or less. They're both from today, May 14th, and they both have this more or less the same information. I also think that Variety and Hollywood Reporter are owned by the same company. It might be Variety and Deadline. I don't know. Or it might be Hollywood Reporter and Deadline. I spoke about this on LinkedIn Logs, the Jobs and Business News podcast, subscriber of your podcast. Byron Allen purchased BuzzFeed, and I believe it was $20 million. He paid cash up front for $20 million, and then plus $100 million in a promissory note due in 5 years. Now, why did he buy BuzzFeed? Well, he wants to, I guess, make a streaming service. So, in short, Allen is going to become the CEO of BuzzFeed, and he's replacing the co-founder Jonah Peretti, who is going to become the president of BuzzFeed AI. BuzzFeed used to be a huge website, a destination. It also won a Pulitzer, I think. Hold on, let me triple check that because I said that this week and I wasn't sure. BuzzFeed Pulitzer. It did win the Pulitzer in 2021 for an international report. But now Byron Allen he's buying them at their lowest point. And God, I'm so thirsty. Anyway. And his plan is to bring BuzzFeed and Huffington Post, remember, because BuzzFeed bought HuffPo from Ariana years ago to help them, I guess, with their news ambitions, but we saw how that happened. They won a Pulitzer, then they petered out. He's going to bring BuzzFeed and HuffPost to your living room by extending their brands into what he claims will be a premier global free streaming service, incorporating professionally produced content and user-generated videos. Sounds like YouTube. Now, to do that, remember, Byron Allen already owns a lot of things, including a lot of affiliates, ABC, NBC, and CBS affiliates. I think it's like 10 affiliates he owns throughout the nation. He also owns the Weather Channel, which I used to work for. So what he's going to use, and he also owns a lot of other stuff too. But what he wants to do is use the Weather Channel's Local Now streaming service, which is a free streaming platform that you can get your local weather through. And it's going to provide super hyper localization down to your zip code to provide news, weather, sports, and traffic. Local Now ingests about 5,000 pieces of video per day because people can send in videos. It's free, ad-supported. It also has free ad-supported TV shows and movies, which I did not know because I don't like Local Now. On Mother's Day, I went to my mom's house, and I was like, well, do you want to watch the movies I own? So I started signing into Fandango at Home, formerly known as Vudu, on her TVs, and I was like, just go to my library, don't buy anything. And she's like, what's that free stuff? I was like, don't watch free stuff. Just watch the movies. Just watch the movies I own. You don't want to watch the free stuff. And she informed me that she likes to watch like the shitty things on Tubi. And I'm not talking about like, you know, the stuff that is from Warner Bros. I'm talking about like the shitty made for Tubi stuff or the stuff that was released on Tubi first. Like, don't watch that. You have access to all these streaming platforms and cable television. Don't do that. So, to hear Allen tell it, Local Now's aggregated content and localized platform plus original programming from BuzzFeed and HuffPost will be a powerful combination. He says it's going to immediately bring in ad dollars. Free streaming is the fastest growing thing. He's correct. The ad dollars are moving rapidly from cable to streaming. The two best worlds in the words in the world are free and streaming. Netflix's ad-supported tier has grown exponentially. I saw a headline for that today. It has grown so much. And it makes sense because people are feeling the squeeze thanks to our great president. But they're feeling the squeeze on their wallets. And rather than get rid of the preeminent premier streaming platform that is Netflix, people would rather pay ad-supported versions for Netflix and Disney for the ones that they like. Get rid of Paramount, waiver on HBO Max, go in and out on Peacock, but they're going to keep the ones that they use all the time. And if there's utility with it, Amazon Prime, Prime Video rather, because it comes with Amazon Prime. So people are going to stay with the stuff that is easiest and provides them the most entertainment, and then also mix in free stuff. And if you're smart, you own 655 things. But in a lot of ways, Allen is right. I'm reading over this because this just came into me. Now, he also would like to purchase Stars. This comes from The Hollywood Reporter, written by Eric Hayden. Byron Allen bought BuzzFeed. He wants Stars next. Now, this one is this version is this part of the article is this article rather is an interview. Now, Allen has been trying to work with Paramount, Skydance, Warner Brothers Discovery, on buying BET. He wants us to buy the stuff essentially that they don't want. But now I think Paramount said, hey, we're going to keep this. Anyway, he wants to buy Stars from Lionsgate and Stars, I think, split up. Lionsgate spun off Stars into its own company. And Stars is now a publicly traded company, I think. On Stars, he said, SVOD, subscription video on demand, and AVOD, advertising video on demand, a left hook and a right hook. If you have a strong left hook and a strong right hook, you'll be the heavyweight champion for many years to come. Stars is a subscription product that you can either get on cable or as a thing by itself, as an add-on to cable or thing by itself. And he's correct. Free streaming is very popular. Look at Pluto. However, and look at Tubi. However, people have to want to watch the free streaming platform that you have. I don't know how the Roku channel is doing, but they seem to be doing well enough to have the Great American British Bake Off, or the Great American Bake Off. They also purchased Quibi assets when Quibi went down. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's doing well. The free version is doing well. At the same token, are people who use Roku, are those the same people that sign up for HBO Max and Paramount Plus and and Peacock via the Roku channels, which is you pay Roku directly and then they pay the streamer? Is that something that people do? So now, if you look at Roku as a whole, they have that paid and then they have the free thing. But is that something that necessarily does well for them besides actually selling TVs? And I think a soundbar. So he has been looking for Stars. In March, he spent $25 million to acquire Steve Mnuchin's 11% stake in Stars. And he's bullish on it. He says, I want to control Stars. I am the second largest stockholder. And he's just going to wait them out until anything happens. Now, if you remember, Stars did a poison pill plan, which means that because remember earlier in March, they did not want Byron Allen to run them. Now, the poison pill is a shareholder rights plan, and it's typically enacted by companies seeking to ward off hostile or unwelcome acquisition efforts. They adopted this plan if any one shareholder acquired 17.5% or more of the company, and would allow for the shareholders to purchase shares in the company at a 50% discount, effectively diluting the activists. Now, Allen does not care about the poison pill. He says, I will buy the whole company when he decides to buy the whole company. That's what he said, when I decide to buy the whole company. He really wants those two streaming platforms. I don't understand. This seems like kind of a new money way of being a capitalist, owning all these different companies. I'm sure the Weather Channel has, the only other option the Weather Channel has as competition is Fox Weather. And from my understanding, Fox Weather is like really, really good. And no one can come close to either one of them. But the reach that the Weather Channel has is just substantial. Then you look at, everything else that he has, the affiliates. He has 10 affiliates, but Nexstar and Tegna own many more affiliates. And then there's just affiliates all over the country that would rather run on pennies and nickels as opposed to dollars, then get bought out. It seems like he's diversified his portfolio enough, but he's also the face, and he's a face that people should not necessarily know. Like there was a like Elon Musk is the face of Tesla, whether we like it or not, and even though Tesla cars, the company, is a good idea, the way it's been executed and his recent, as of the last 4 or 5 years, his recent just public persona has just been gross, to put it blankly. So there's no like people are associating Teslas as bad, even though they're decent cars, not the best, not even good, but decent. Boring. Just because you put a fart thing in your seat doesn't make you cool. Or spelling out sexy with the models of the car. That's disgusting. Or making a truck that looks like the opposite of Row.co. Also Row.co. I keep seeing like these commercials for Row.co on Hulu with these beautiful, just gorgeous women. And I just like, hey, if I don't need Row.co if I was women. You know what I mean? Okay. And he's also the face of his own show. So, why do this? Why do this? All right, let's move on because I'm hungry and I'm making turkey bolognese. It's behind me. This comes from Tony Maglio, The Hollywood Reporter. The Warner Bros. Discovery upfront felt more like a funeral. Warner Brothers has nothing to show. They are being courted by Paramount Skydance. And at these upfronts, they have nothing to show. There's no hand. There's no host to take them through. Here's the important thing about the upfronts. Even if it's you're selling what you have to these investors, you have to make it entertaining. When I was at Bounce TV, EW Scripts, Bounce TV did their upfronts, and they were like, you can watch along with everybody. And so I watched it, every year that they did it. And I think that first year it blew. It was so boring. And they didn't have anybody famous to sell their stuff, to sell their one or two shows and bad movies, bad made for TV movies. With ABC's upfronts, they have Jimmy Kimmel to host. When NBC has upfronts, they have Jimmy Fallon, and Seth Meyers. Fox has, Bear Grylls show up because he's got a show on there. Maybe Gordon Ramsay. CBS has, they would have had Stephen Colbert. But I'm sure they had Elsbeth in there. Matlock, I don't know. But the point is, like, they have people to sell this. Warner Brothers had HBO chief Casey Bloys. Oh, no, he was just in attendance. Okay. Oh, wow. Jeez. They didn't have anybody. It doesn't even look like they had much to show off. They just had a bunch of CEOs show up. That's it. Chief Global Marketing Officer. All the executives. Oh, the lineup. Here's the lineup. The lineup was made up of CNN stars like Abby Phillip and Anderson Cooper. And then it had people from shows and programs that are on the that are going to be on HBO Max or CNN or whatever. But like Craig Ferguson, he's got a new CNN show coming out. And then HBO Max, the pit star Catherine Lanassa. And then they had people from Stewart Saves the World, the spinoff to Big Bang Theory, which I'm not kidding when I say this, looks really good. It's not a sitcom. It is an action adventure show. They had Lauren Lapkus and Brian Posehn. Wow. But what they had to present was nothing more than stuff like Shark Week meeting K-pop demon hunters. But that's it. Oh, Jesus. This is very sad. So it felt like a funeral to Tony Maglio, and he's right. It doesn't. Warner Brothers feels like it is on its last breath because it is searching for a suitor. That's probably going to be Paramount Skydance, unless the government says, "Hey, that's a bad idea." And at that point, Paramount Skydance will have to pay Warner Brothers, I think, $20 billion. It's a huge number that could help Warner Brothers Discovery. And then at that point, I think they would probably just do the original plan of spinning off the networks in the video game section away from the studios and the streaming. Anyway, but it's unfortunate that Warner Brothers Discovery, such a storied studio, Discovery is in this position to be no longer a leader, even behind the suitor that's coming for them, that is Paramount Skydance. Upfronts are supposed to be joyous and celebratory of the world where these networks live, but that's no longer the case. Especially with the advent of streaming has really just I feel like we are at, you hear the term peak streaming. We probably are there. I think this is the breaking point where we're in a recessive like economy, and people who were once willing to just say, I'll keep the Spotify subscription even though I listen to Apple Music, or I'll keep the Paramount Plus subscription even though I haven't watched it in a couple of weeks. Where that's no longer the case, and now we're at a point where it's, you know what, I'm gonna cut this loose because it's no longer bringing me joy. All right, let's talk about what's coming on the networks in the next television season. These all come from Hollywood Reporter, all written by Rick Porter. This is what is on ABC's slate. We know because of streaming, networks are not buying a lot of shows, and the shows they do buy, they are only trying to give enough time to things when they want to and can. And in terms of Fox, and it looks like ABC, there's a lot of There's a lot of reality things that they're going to be leaning on. And when we get to Fox, you're going to see them like, oof. ABC has big, important things. So their shows are definitely going to have to move. The college football playoff championship, the Super Bowl, the Grammys, the Oscars. Those are all a part of ABC. Which means Dancing with the Stars. Which means shows like High Potential, the return of Scrubs, and the new show RJ Decker, which looks cool. Those go. You know what? The commercials have sold me. I will be watching RJ Decker this summer. They're all going to have to be shifting around. High Potential is moving to mid-season next year, so that means it'll premiere in the winter time, roughly. As well, The Rookie, Will Trent, Shifting Gears. They're most popular shows. Those are their most popular shows that are written, bar none. They're all moving to mid-season. And also the Rookie spinoff, The Rookie North, starring Jay Ellis. The Bachelor and Bachelor in Paradise will premiere in 2027 as well. But as for this fall, the scripted shows include 911, as well as the spinoff 911 Nashville and Grey's Anatomy, and then RJ Decker and Scrubs, and Abbott Elementary, it looks like. The rest will be not even live action, excuse me. Real life, what is it called? Reality shows. For CBS, They are moving their two best shows, in my opinion. Best. Did I say Beth? Because I was reading Elsbeth. The two best shows, in my opinion, to the mid-season. That's Ghosts and Matlock. They canceled DMV, which I just watched the last episode, and it ended as it came in, just very mid-level. As the kids say, mid. The Neighborhood ended. CIA, the spinoff of FBI, was renewed. So FBI and CIA will be paired together again. NCIS Origins will air in the fall, and NCIS Sydney will air in the spring. Is there another NCIS? Because that one's still going too. Survivor and Amazing Race, and then the Sheriff County, Fire County, Country, and Sheriff Country and Fire Country, and Boston Blue remain on the Fridays. Marshals and Tracker are still on the Sundays. Oh, NCIS New York is a new show. Oh, so they're going to have 4 NCIS shows. Origins, New York, and Sydney, as well as Vanilla. And then they have new shows, Eternally Yours and Cupertino. For NBC, they've got the return of St. Denis Medical, The Fall and Rise of Reggie Dinkins, which is a great show. Line of Fire. Looks like it's a new show. Chicago Wednesday stays. Law and Order Vanilla was renewed, which is good. But it's going to be going after SVU, which I think is not a good idea. But because Traitors comes to NBC for Thursday nights. And then for Friday, that's where their second comedy night is. With Happy's Place, which is the Reba show, and then Newlyweds. They also have college football and then Sunday Night Football and The Voice. Did I not hit Fox? Where's that? Okay, Fox. Fox, obviously we know the Sunday animation domination is no longer a real thing. Because animation domination is getting live action again. They're getting Animal Control. Why is that? Because on the schedule, Fox does not have any room for live action half-hour comedies. So, this fall, The Simpsons and Universal Basic Guys is coming back. Jesus Christ. And Grimmsburg returns with Animal Control in the 8:30 spot. The reason Universal Basic Guys was brought back, and this I know it's not well received. I have a couple of theories, not 3. We'll see. One, Fox produces it. That is a big thing about their shows. They right now is that they have to produce it so they can make the money on it, and also pay people less. 2, animation takes a long time to create things. So they said, let's just renew this show and not take a chance on another show. 3, it still sucks. I like Grimmsburg, though. Anyway, throughout the week, they'll be having 2 celebrity games, Name That Tune and Weakest Link. Because remember, they bought Weakest Link from NBC. And then Best Medicine and Doc are going to be paired together. The Floor, which is a show I do watch, and 99 to Beat, which is another show I do watch, are together on Wednesdays. They also brought back Hell's Kitchen a couple of years ago. And then that Special Forces World's Toughest Test is apparently good for them. And then college football. And then whatever Fox Sports they have on Saturday. College football on Friday. And then whatever spot. And at some point in the midseason, they'll have Baywatch and a new show and 2 new shows. The Interrogator and an unscripted show, Marriage Market. Ugh. Then a lot of other reality stuff. The Masked Singer, Next Level Chef, Fear Factor, and House of Fear. Fear Factor, House of Fear. And then, is that David Duchovny in Memory of a Killer? As well as season 3 of Murder in a Small Town. Oh, goodness. Oh, television, it feels like broadcasting cable are just like losing it. Although, regular show came back with the Lost Tapes. And I watched an episode, and you know what? I said it's more of a regular show. All right. I'm done. Listen, if you like what you heard here, head to the website cpluscomedy.com where you can see me talk to celebrities sometimes. I just had an interview with, oh, Jesus, this is embarrassing. Emily Marco. I didn't even have to go all the way through to where I was looking. I had an interview with Emily Marco. Go listen to that. If you want to see a video version of the interview, you can go to cpluscomedy.com where you can see a video version of this show as well as video versions of the other shows. Late Night Lately, the Late Night Show. There's a monologue, so check it out. And LinkedIn Longs, the Jobs and Business News podcast. Subscribe to those shows where you get your podcasts. Also watch the interviews on youtube.com/cpluscomedy. Follow us on social media at YouTube, Blue Sky, TikTok, and Instagram at cpluscomedy. Me on those platforms at Chad Black White. cpluscomedy.com for everything cpluscomedy. Okay, I'm going to eat this turkey bolognese and pasta. Thank you. Bye.